What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
And if you're someone who's busy and you just feel like life is kicking you all around and you don't know where to fit in fitness and nutrition and self-growth, this episode is for you. I wanted to make a full playbook, a full step-by-step on how to succeed with no matter what life throws at you. And a bit for my story too, fitness has been a constant for me ever since I started it. I found a way to do it despite playing multiple sports. I was playing hockey in several different leagues, motocross, all these different things. I'd still make a time for fitness. And you'd say, okay, well, you're a kid. And that's what everyone said. Wait till you grow up. Wait till you're in school. And then I was in university. I found a way to do it. And then it was wait till you get married and have kids. And I did that and had a kid. And then people would say, wait till you have a second kid. It's impossible. Then I had a second kid. And now I'm sure, I mean, I haven't heard too many, I think saying I have two young kids because I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. I still get it done. I have a business. I'm doing everything. I find a way to do it. I haven't got as many of those comments, but case in point, what I'm getting at, I'm not trying to brag. These things work. No matter what life throws at you, these tips will work. And I'm going to show you how to actually succeed no matter what happens, whatever variables are there. Even if you feel like you have no time, you just don't want to feel a victim to your own circumstance, your own schedule, and kick fitness and health and everything you hold dear to the curb. So I actually spent a lot of time prepping this to help you succeed no matter what goes on, to keep this identity of someone who can remain fit under pressure. So I'm going to give you the tools and the secrets that have worked for me, and I'm really excited to start. And I want to start with a quote, and that is, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. And I love this. It's so easy to set goals and look to be the next person on the moon and set major things. But for me, no matter what has happened in life, any curveball, any variable, anything, these systems are what hold you together. Even for me right now, it's a little bit of a crazy situation because my wife's working and she's on 7 12-hour shifts. And while she's doing that, I'm raising both these kids, running this business, staying fit, doing all these different things. And it kind of kicks you back like other circumstances. But for me, I have systems to hold me in place, to hold me fit, that no matter what, they're like that safety harness. Even if everything else fails, they'll keep me going and they'll keep me successful. So I'm really excited to share those with you. And I broke this into like a 3 framework system. So we're going to go over some like mental anchors and identity. And believe it or not, this is actually even more important than what you might think is ultimately important, which is nutrition, navigating nutrition and training during a busy time. But this first one is kind of everything. And I wanted to share a bit about my story so you can understand that no matter what comes, there are solutions, and fitness will look different in different parts of your life. But what's awesome through this time is I haven't even lost progress. I've continued to progress. And a big part of that is identity statements. So for me, fitness clearly is a core of my identity. So I don't necessarily say these things, but I believe these things. And I wanted to share some examples. And you could say these to yourself. Like an example is, I'm the type of person who trains no matter how busy I am. Instead, what I think most people will say is, I like training when it's convenient, right? The second it's inconvenient and life gets crazy and it's demanding, we're usually the first thing we'll kick away is training. We'll throw that away. We'll say there's other things I need to do. I need to watch my 3 hours of Netflix. I need to go to the bar. I need to go to the, naturally we'll just quickly throw away the gym. But the gym is actually going to help us feel better. It's going to help us stay younger. It's going to keep us healthy. It can be grounding. So if you're someone who instead says, no matter what happens, I'm going to find a way to train. So even if I have to get creative and train at weird times or train at home or whatever it is, you're going to find a way to do that. So by having an identity statement like that, like change that belief to, if you're someone who, when it gets busy, you kick it to the can. Instead, say, I'm a kind of person who trains no matter how busy I am. Another example is, I prioritize health because it makes everything in my life easier. I believe this no matter what. Even recently, I went through something very difficult and unexpected and it was really hard. But even for me, I'm like, more than ever, this is where I go the right route. So I made sure to prioritize getting to bed. I made sure to prioritize going in the gym. I made sure to prioritize walking. And like, these are the last things I wanted to do. Like, it seemed like an insurmountable mountain to do these basic things. But what's awesome is I've had these constants in my routine and my identity. And when I default back to them, it's like a full reset for me. And it's me resetting resetting to my best habits. If you're someone who's created bad habits, and I think it's natural to, the second life gets hard and overwhelming, maybe you drink, maybe you scroll Instagram, maybe you shut everything out and just kick responsibility to the curb. Like, these are your defaults, right? These are the systems you're using as comforts, or maybe it's overeating or binge eating, right? So instead, we want to rework and create new ones. And we're going to get into that. But I just want to share one more identity statement that I actually really quite enjoy. And that's not, it's nutrition is not something I do. It's part of who I am. So people always say to me, are you doing a challenge? Are you dieting right now? Like, if I don't overeat an event or something. And I'm like, no, I like eating good food and healthy food because it makes me feel better. And I use the freedom formula. So if I want cake, I'll have cake. If I don't want cake, I won't have cake. I mean, a lot of parties lately where there's just like pizza and little snacks, like little kids parties and whatever. And like, it's fine to have the pizza if you want the pizza. Like at my son's birthday, I did. But at these events, I'm like, I think I'd rather just get a nice big Chipotle bowl after and just enjoy being with people. I'm not really a cake person, so I don't care for it. I can't remember, I was at the party and someone else said they're not big cake people. Actually, my friend said it and they looked surprised. But even for them, it's like they didn't value it. So nutrition isn't just something they're doing to achieve a goal of dieting or something. It's like, I want to eat good food so I feel my best, so I can be the best example, so I can have the most energy, right? So instead of it being something you do like a diet or a temporary thing, celebrate nutrition, aim to eat good food, aim to have fun food that you enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. Use that 80-20 rule. But what's awesome about identity is it removes negotiation, and you'll have negotiation, right? You'll be at a party like this, pizza will be there. You'll be like, okay, I'm gonna have 2 slices. You'll have 2 slices. You'll be like, you know what? This is a party. I can have couple more slices, and before you know, you've had 10 slices, you've had cake, you've had chips, you've whatever. Like, we've all been there, right? But the more you have the identity, there's not debate, right? Because you can default and say, this is who I am, this is what I do. And then when that negotiation comes of like, oh, it's so busy, I should skip the gym this week, I'm going to do some extra work, you're like, no, I'm going to get this done. And I noticed this as a student with exam season. Everyone would say, I cannot go to the gym, I need to study. And it's like, you're not studying the whole day. Let's be honest. No one is, right? And it's actually been scientifically proven. And it's something I told everyone, to actually get a workout in, you'll do better and have better memory on the exam, like pairing it with physical activity, right? So oftentimes we think we're helping ourselves by cutting these things, but we're making it most. And I spent time on this because I think if you don't have this identity, everything's going to fall by the wayside. You'll be motivated for a bit. You'll get a little bit of a flow. Things will be okay. But like I said, and I'm sure this relates to you, you've been busy, you've thrown everything away, and then you thought, what have I done? And it's so hard to rebuild.
And honestly, on that note, the main thing that I wanted to mention, like the question that's really got me going, because very similar to Josh, I've been doing this for over 10 years now. I don't think I've missed more than a week. And like, I've just remained as consistent as possible. And the question for my identity that I've asked myself over and over again is, how can I make it work this week? Right. And so there's numerous amounts of times where I could have taken off. I could have, like you think of all the craziest things, whether it's like, baby was born. Okay, I can't do it this week. Or like you find out some crazy news. I can't do it this week. Or like my power's out this week. My fridge is out and I can't do my nutrition. But every single time there's been a tough situation, I've always asked, how can I make this work? And the issue with a lot of people is that when they face tougher times or when they face busier lives, their instant reaction is just, I can't make this work. Period. End of story. Nothing else. But by having a growth mindset of like, how can I make it work? Like, the week that my baby was born, for the first time in a while, I got 4 workouts in. I didn't get 5, but I felt so incredible and I maintained my consistency. I'll be honest, I didn't hit any PRs. There was nothing groundbreaking there. I just felt good and I continued with the schedule. So when you ask yourself in a given week when something's challenging, or a month or a period of time, how can I make it work? You will be a completely different person. And it's the thing that I always ask myself throughout my entire journey.
Yeah, we're so passionate about this. It's why, like, I know this is more abstract and you're probably looking for more tangibles, but I would really spend some time like thinking why you're doing this, right? And we like that 7 layers deep exercise because you're just like, I want to look smoking on the beach. I want everyone thinking like, man, that person's fit. That's fine. But when you get deeper with it too, and you're like, I want to stay being that good looking person. I don't want to look older than I need to look. I want to be fit for my kids. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be in the hospital. And what's unfortunate too is like a lot of these things, like it slips you by, right? And I use the examples of my life because these are things I see people kind of have as friction points, and then they'll reach out for coaching and we'll fix it. But people will say, like, okay, I'm going to work out after school. School is crazy. Like, this is just so tough. And then the magical time where after school comes and you get a job and you're like embracing the suck, working these crazy hours, trying to build your career. And then you say, okay, once things steady at work, and then maybe you have kids, and then you think, oh my gosh, when my kids are older, and like there's never a perfect time. And that's where when you can have that identity and say, I'm going to find a way no matter what. And like Kyle said, meeting yourself where it's at. If there truly is a time where it's impossible, even if you have that identity of that example, if I'm the type of person who trains no matter how busy I am, doesn't mean you got to be in there 5 times a week for 90 minutes, but you're going to make a point to train. You're going to make a point to at least go on a walk every day or whatever it is. So like you're going to find ways to make that fit for you. And some anchor rituals that can actually make these identity pieces easier and less abstract. For myself, I weigh in every single day. And people will say, isn't that compulsive? Isn't it weird? Isn't it just going to upset you? To me, this is a mechanism, right? Like this is me knowing like, okay, my gas is running low. So if you're someone, you're in a busy season, maybe you're overeating, you have a bad couple days, if that weight pops up, you're going to want to autocorrect. It's an amazing, amazing tool to have that awareness. Whereas if you're just blind to it, you can put it off. So me weighing in every day, it's going to annoy me. If my weight shouldn't be going up, I know I'm being lazy, I'm going to naturally want to course correct. So it's a huge tool for me, and it actually takes that power of the scale away from me, because now it's just a tool I use to indicate the direction I'm going. I look at the weekly average. Another additional thing I'll do is like I'll try to prepare for the next day the day before. So even I'll take like a 60-second intention after my alarm goes before I wake up. I'll stop the alarm and get ready to pop up. I'm pretty good at this, and I'll think, what is my priority today? Like what challenges, what do I need to prep for? What do I need to focus on? I'll just orientate myself first thing in the morning, and it's something I enjoy. Like what does the best version of me do today? Like what's a winning action? You might say, okay, I want to lay in bed all day and order in food and do nothing. Instead, you're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this piece of work done. I'm going to go to the gym, and you can start to like feel good about that plan, which is nice. And you can make that even easier by like setting clothes out the day before, resetting your house the day before. I like to, before I go to bed, I'll like clean my kitchen, tidy my counters. Even right now, while I'm like taking care of my kids, I'll like lay out their clothes and get all that stuff ready, kind of reorientate the house so I can be ready to prepare myself for less chaos in the next day. I have reminders on my phone for morning and night saying track your calories. So I'll make a point to pre-log, make a point to close out by logging every night. And these are just tools that like it seems like I'm more disciplined or I'm just better at it, but I'm actually just making it easier for myself. That's all it is. And like using like a gas tank example, like when your gas is empty, you're going to go fill it up, right? So when you have tools, it's helpful. If you just put in gas whenever you'd want, you'd be running out and you'd be stranded all the time. So things like that, making a point to do a daily walk, there's a million of them, but the more you can do these, the better. And I think even in life, as I mentioned, like the more you can say, what are your non-negotiables? And everyone's entirely different. Could be training at least XYZ days a week. It could be a step goal. It could be hitting your calories and protein every single day. Like if you have like 2 things that you're like, I'm going to lock in, and obviously you can build that over time. And I probably have like 8 at this point in my life. Like an example of my personal non-negotiables are getting to bed on time, like 99% of the time. Something happens, I'll live, but I wake up at the same time. So that's a non-negotiable. I'll make a point to hit my protein and calories every single day. I'll make a point to get all my training sessions in. And do I miss these things occasionally? But for the most part, I do get them done. And because of that, like water's another one. Like, so all these things are like big ones, but you can see by me doing this day in, day out, that's how I get these crazy high level results. And people say, what is your secret? But you can see I'm making it easier on myself with non-negotiables, with systems to actually make this so much easier. So that's where mindset is such a big one. And you might say, I'm not even close to this. How is this possible? Start small, like I said. Set one non-negotiable this week. I'll keep the list in the show notes so you could pick one. And even if you're getting your steps every single day, that's like forcing you to get on more walks, be more active. Maybe you're like, I'll get steps when I go to the gym. Like sometimes these general goals can help you with your micro goals, and you'll see how all this connects.
What I will say about all these non-negotiables and Josh's list here is that a lot of people struggle to get the habits and the consistency of things because they're new to it. But I promise you that day that you commit to it and you continuously do it, it just becomes your new normal. So there's some of these things here that Josh has listed out that it just like, it would feel weird not to do, just because there's been hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of days where I've just drank my water. I don't track my water. I just, every single day I wake up, I drink a ton of water. When I work out, I drink a ton. When I'm sitting there working on my laptop, I'm drinking a ton. You get the point, but it's just like, these things don't feel like work. It doesn't feel like challenging. It's just, it's a part of who we are. Even steps now, because of the challenges we've done 10,000 steps. It just feels weird not to do it. So it's just, it's when you get to the point where you do something and you do it for a certain amount of time, it actually makes your life so much easier. Similar to Josh saying, laying things out the night before and doing all these things. Like, I'm sure the first day it feels a little bit weird. You're like, oh, I'm not used to this. You do it for a second day, a third day, a fourth, and then it just becomes your new normal. And it's just like what you do. And I think so many people, they don't get to that point where they allow themselves to build that habit. Even tracking food, like, it took me so many months, like when I first started 10 plus years ago, to get past lunch, because I just gave up on myself. When I started to do it and do it efficiently, it's just what I did. And now if I don't put my calories in, I just feel weird. Like, if I don't hit the gym, I feel awkward. Like, it's just, it's a part of who I am. So try to be consistent with it. Have those non-negotiables. It'll go such a long way.
And next up is nutrition and chaos. And I place nutrition in front of training, and Kyle's going to go into depth with training, which is amazing. But there are periods of time where getting to the gym is physically impossible. If you're in the hospital with your newborn, you're not going to get to the gym. You can do push-ups on the gross hospital floor, I suppose, but it's just not going to be realistic. But one thing that is always realistic is nutrition, because you have full control. No one is force-feeding you food, at least I should hope not. So you have control of what goes in your mouth, and sometimes it'll feel like you have no control. And using that example, you'll say, hey, I'm at the hospital. The cafeteria has pizza, ice cream, and some, let's say, some other nonsense, burgers, right? Which you can make these things work. It's just harder, but you have a lot of control there. You could pack a ton of snacks. Maybe you didn't know about the baby and you can't pack a ton of snacks. You could order in food. You could like use an ordering app to actually order it to the hot. Like, you still have power. You can portion control. You could intelligently order. You could get a burger with a lettuce bun. Like, case in point, you can have a lot of help in your like with your opportunities. But the hardest thing of nutrition, and my core message here, is that busy people need fewer decisions, not more discipline. The goal is to simplify. So if it's not simple, it won't happen. That's just a reality with nutrition especially. And for me, I just remove so much food thought as possible. And that's how I approach nutrition as a busy individual, and especially in busy seasons. Example, set breakfast. I have the same breakfast every single day. I'll vary it incrementally. The reason I do this is not because like it's my first choice ever. It's just simple. There's no thought. It's tasty. It sits well. It's healthy. I'm winning the day. It's easy to buy for. If I have to think like, what do I want to make today? Like, I could have this or this or this. It just, the fatigue kills you, and you already have other things you need to do in your day. Maybe you're super stressed with work. It's not going to be realistic. It's not going to happen. So remove that, right? Pre-log out your day. Tentatively, I knew I was having my Greek yogurt for breakfast. I assumed I was going to go to Chipotle with Kyle for today for lunch. I'm just going to have a bigger meal there. I know I'm making dinner for myself and my kids tonight. I'll probably just have like a smoothie and something to support it. So that'll leave me like 600 calories for where I'm at now. But you can see I have a tentative idea of what my day is, and it removes that guesswork, right? So the more you can simplify, the better. Another thing I like to do is I have my set places to eat out. I have my order from Chipotle down, my order from Chick-fil-A, sub shawarma places, bowl places. Like, I know what's good for me in my certain areas. So even if I'm in a tricky situation, I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking to get. No, burrito bowls are a phenomenal tool. So even in this hospital example, I can just search burrito bowls, go ahead, grab that, and be successful in this opportunity. You can meal prep the week before. Maybe you're busy because you're an ultra successful professional. You can explore different options, like having an intern bring you in food from a good place. You can do food delivery. You can order meal prep service. Like, it's so different for everyone, and everyone really likes to dwell on where it's nutritionally impossible for them. But I assure you, for as many negatives as you have other opportunities to be successful with it. You just need to explore what works best for you, whether you're meal prep everything on Sunday, whether you eat a few simple meals, whether you just eat all of your partner's cooking, but you portion it differently and pack protein snacks. Like, you are in control here, but the more you can simplify your nutritional journey, the easier it makes. Even for myself, I have simple rules, like intentions. Like, I don't eat after like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. most generally. And someone said to me, it was funny actually the guy that used to edit our podcast, I was eating one night and he's like, haha, you do eat after this time or something. And I'm like, well, it's not to say I never do. It's a rule, it's a theme for me. If I was stuck in a pinch and I was out, I just don't eat for like the joy of it. Like I'm not just gonna have some random snack or something past that time because I know it won't be productive unless it's planned and pre-logged in. But that's where you can have like these guiding rules for your life or these guardrails to kind of keep you on path even when like there's just absolute chaos behind you. And I use this when traveling, I use this at home, I use this when eating out. These tools are helpful and they're there for a reason.
Yeah, I'll never forget. One of the best things I heard was just that in order to succeed, you need to reduce friction. And that just got me thinking, because even Josh's points, like when he wakes up, it's not like a million different questions of like, what am I doing? It's more like, hey, this is what I do. And I think so many people struggle. And let's get real. Every single person is busy. Like if you say you're not busy, I don't believe it. Like you're busy in your own way. Like some people have a couple kids. Like everyone has just such a different situation. A lot of people studying. Some people are busy grandparents, like work wise. Like we're all busy. And so when we come down to the root of just like making it as simple as possible, that's how you're going to succeed. And when you get to that point where you don't have a million questions. So for example, let's say I'm starting Monday. I'm going to be like, what are my calories? Where am I getting my food? How many sets am I going to do? What days am I going to go to the gym? Like when you have 20 different questions of like, how am I going to do it? It just gets so overwhelming. And that's where those general rules of like, this is my breakfast. Here's what I'm doing. Like even for me, like my workouts, I know what day I'm going to be training my muscle groups. And that's obviously going to be bringing us into number 3, which is just training in chaos. Like Josh said, it's not always easy. But there are a lot of rules that you can follow to just make sure you're as consistent as possible. I find it so helpful. So Josh put together a workout routine for us. I have it saved in my favorites album. So I'm with him 3 days a week. He'll just lead the workout there. But then the other 2 that I go there, it's there. It's a screenshot. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know the equipment I'm using. I know the sets. I know the reps. I know the muscle groups I'm working. And so that solves a lot of like, I guess, anxiety that some people would have. Like some people will go in and they'll just do whatever they want, whenever they want. And like, it gets tough because once again, when you have to use your brain, like we only have so much capacity to make decisions each day. And if you have to constantly think of all these million different variables, it just makes it easy to skip. Like you just don't want to do it. So having an actual routine makes a big difference. Honestly, I find doing it when your willpower is at its absolute highest. So when you think about it, by the end of the day, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you're drained. You've made a lot of decisions. You are fatigued from talking to people. It's just not the most ideal. I know there will be some people who say they function great and it works for them, but I find that earlier on, when you have the capacity to just make the best possible decision, is one of the best ways you can do it. We have some people, I'm thinking of our client Gracia. She's done such an incredible job transforming. She would get into the gym like 2:30 a.m. before her shifts. She's a nurse. And that just is what worked for her. We have a lot of busy fathers. One of them I was speaking to recently, he will get up, he'll go to the gym right before his little kid wakes up, so then he can go home and then be there with his little child before, going to go to school and do all that stuff. And there's just so many different ways to approach it. But when you get it done, when your willpower is at its highest, aiming to do it every single day at the same time, once again, taking that question out of the process of like, what time am I going to go? That's another great thing, is just try to make it as consistent as possible. Using myself as an example, I'm just so used to going at the same time that when that time hits and I'm not there, it just kind of feels a little bit weird. Obviously, accountability is one of the greatest things. So having Josh here a couple times a week is very, very powerful. But, even for us, like we've helped transform 5,000 plus people, and for them knowing that they have to check in with someone, they're going to be getting a text, we have them fill out a spreadsheet, like that's a huge form of accountability. So our clients absolutely love that. And last but not least, just make sure to remember how great it makes you feel. And so I will say a lot of people struggle because they look at it as a chore, but I look at myself as a better version when I go for that walk. Even lately, as an example, I haven't been wanting to go for morning walks. And on Monday morning before one of our meetings, I wasn't going to do it. I'm like, you know what? Like my brain hurts. I did so much work in the morning. Let me just go for 15 minutes. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to be more energized. I'm going to be a better person. And when you actually look at fitness as like an exercise, as becoming a better better version for yourself, but also for your coworkers, for your family, for your kids, like realizing how much of a better person you can be. It's very motivating during the toughest times to know that you can take care of absolutely everyone, the best version of yourself because you've exercised and you've done what you should be doing. So yeah, that's basically training in a nutshell, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, and all these things won't work if you don't have self belief that you can actually achieve this, that you can get this done, that you can find a way when you're busy. And I assure you, even if you have to reframe that success and maybe you operate 100% when you're not busy, you get swamped. You're in the craziest, busiest situation ever. You have quadruplets and you get a job promotion. And let's just say the craziest situation, right? Like maybe you'll be operating at 30% of that 100, but you're still operating at 30% above zero, right? If you just kick everything to the curb. And then you can obviously reframe that and put more pedal in certain areas when you have like a straightaway and slow down when it gets a little twistier. So that's always in your power. And I love that Kyle mentioned accountability, because accountability is the ultimate cheat code behind this. I wanted to give you a ton of high level thoughts, but if you want to guarantee this to happen, it's actually being held accountable to it, because it's real easy to say, heck yeah, I'm going to do these things no matter what. When it's busy, I'm going to find a way. But it's real easy to be weak in those situations. Skip the gym, you start skipping some meals, you start sleeping in, ordering some food. And before you know it, you're like, what habits have I done? And Kyle's point of like, when you do these good habits, it'd be weird not to do them, is so well said. And it works the other way too. If every night you have a glass of wine, stress, maybe 2 glasses, it's going to become so normal and it's going to be so hard to undo. So it's where having someone cheering on your side, helping you find solutions when it seems impossible. Maybe you feel like, okay, this episode was cool, but you don't know how busy I am. I'm even more busier than that quadruplets promotion person you just mentioned. Maybe that is you, but reach out. Let us help you. Let us show you what you can do in your situation to still see success. So if you want to learn more about working with us one-on-one, our results are fully guaranteed too. No other coach does that. That's how we know we stand behind what we do, because we will get you your results. We're going to help you peel off unwanted fat and gain new muscle. And if you want to learn more about how to work with us one-on-one, DM me on Instagram at ColossusFit. ColossusFit is my Instagram. Similar looking logo to this episode. DM me, learn more, and I guarantee you that first step is going to be the best decision you've ever made, especially if you're busy, because having a coach on your side, I tell you exactly what to do. I take all the homework, all the hard work, all the thought out of it, so you can just execute, get fitter, and see incredible results. But we hope you enjoyed this episode today. I look forward to you DMing me, learn more, so I can help you one-on-one. If this episode helped you and you know someone who's busy that could use this, please share it with them. Don't hog it all for yourself. Share the secrets. We are happy to give them here today. And once again, we want to thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.